Hello, everyone, and welcome to this morning's webinar. My name is Alistair, and I am a business development consultant here at PROKON. Together with my colleague Sampi, that I'll introduce a bit later on, we've been developing the PROKON Academy platform that we will be introducing you today. This is our official e-learning platform, and it has been a few years in the making, for now at least anyway. We've had a lot of requests from various clients, various resellers around the globe, asking us for a self-paced education platform where they can learn our software at their own time and pace and get the same experience as if it was a classroom environment. Before we do the actual presentation, let's look at some of the housekeeping for this morning. Your microphones will be muted for the duration of the presentation. The chat functionality is disabled. However, you can use the Q&A box in your Zoom control panel and submit questions. We will be answering those throughout the presentation, and we will also have a live Q&A session at the end where we'll address some of the most important questions that arise throughout. Thirdly, the webinar will be recorded, but this recording is only going to be for internal and training purposes only. However, we will be releasing certain portions on YouTube at a later stage. Okay. Housekeeping out the way, let's look at the agenda for today. We'll give you a brief introduction of what PROKON Academy is all about, as well as the benefits of why you would use PROKON Academy over other platforms. We'll then do a live demonstration, and we will then take you through the steps to enroll in a course or multiple courses, as it were. Finally, like I said, before closing, we will have a Q&A, and then we'll end the session there. I'm going to then hand over to my colleague Sampi. He's going to be doing the main presentation this morning. He is also a business development consultant at PROKON, and together we've developed, along with our team upstairs, the technical consultants, the PROKON Academy that will be introduced to you today. So over to you, Sampi.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Alistair. And from my side, thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. We are super excited to introduce you to our new e-learning platform, PROKON Academy. I'm sure most of you have seen some snippets on social media. That includes LinkedIn, Facebook, and you're probably wondering what this is about. So let me tell you. So first of all, PROKON Academy is the official e-learning platform for all your PROKON learning requirements. And you'll see, while you do our courses, you can be sure of the highest quality and standards that you have come to expect over the years from PROKON. If you enroll into one of our e-learning courses, the world really becomes your classroom. Courses are available from anywhere in the world and at any time. So it's really, truly self-paced. Our courses are also supported on multiple platforms. And these platforms include Microsoft Windows devices, Apple Mac devices, and various browsers are also supported on these devices. And then you'll also be happy to hear that most tablets and smartphones running iOS or Android are also supported. All our learning materials are developed and maintained by PROKON industry professionals, and these professionals have got years of practical experience and in-depth knowledge on the products. Our content is also carefully evaluated on a regular basis to ensure that it meets these high standards. Now, the question most of you might probably be thinking is, why PROKON Academy, and what are the benefits to me as the user? There's a couple of reasons, but I'm just going to take you through the 10 most important ones. So first and foremost, online learning is a lot cheaper than classroom training, traditional classroom training. We were able to cut out a lot of the cost in terms of transportation cost, printing course materials, catering cost, and more. This allows us to significantly reduce the price of the e-learning if you compare it to traditional classroom training. And to you as the learner or the student, you can also save quite a bit of money by not having to travel, to our premises or having to take time off work. Looking at the interface, the e-learning interface of PROKON Academy, it's a very straightforward, easy to navigate e-learning interface. Each of our courses starts with a short tutorial on how to navigate the course. And then also courses are presented with clear objectives short and easy to understand steps and interactive examples. So you'll know exactly what is expected from you during the duration of the course. Our courses are also hands-on in terms of the exercises. So it's not just, a bunch of theory you have to work through. There's actual practical step-by-step hands-on exercises, and we use real-world examples for this. So it really allows you to practice and to apply the knowledge that you have gained during the course itself, during the theory portion. With regards to access, PROKON Academy, as I've mentioned before, is accessible from anywhere in the world and at any time. All you really need is a computer, a tablet or a smartphone, a relatively stable internet connection, and you're good to go. I've also briefly mentioned this, that our courses are developed by PROKON industry professionals with lots of experience in the industry. So you can really rest assured that our learning content will be of the exact same high quality and standards that you have come to expect over the years. Now, without having to sit in a classroom, you can learn at your own time and pace. And for example, if you struggle with a topic, you can redo this module or topic or exercise as often as needed within the course access duration. You can also pause and restart modules at your convenience. So you don't have to do everything in one sitting. You can start, take a break, carry on tomorrow, redo something if you want to maybe, repeat the module and so on. So it's truly at your own time and pace within the duration of the course. The PROKON Academy is also supported on multiple devices and platforms. These devices include devices supporting Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Android. And for your desktop, laptop, and Mac devices, some of the browsers that are supported and that we've personally tested is Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and even Safari for Mac OS. And then for your mobile devices running iOS and Android, there's actually an app available on the App Store or the Google Play Store where you can log into your account and learn like that as well. Most of the exercises in our modules comes with a step-by-step guided video. And these videos will really show you the exercise in the same steps as was explained in the text. And I'll show you this in live action a bit later. And this will help you get a better understanding of what is expected of you. And it also supports visual learning styles. As we all know, not everyone likes to read. Some people like to watch a video or maybe listen to a podcast. So this really caters for all different learning styles. When it comes to support on the PROKON Academy platform, you'll automatically be entitled to support from the PROKON team. And this is really to assist you with any problems you might experience during your learning journey. And all you have to do is send an email to academy@prokon.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then lastly, during your course access duration, you'll automatically get the latest course content and updates if anything becomes available. So for example, if we upload new content or make a change to a module, you'll not lose your progress if you were in the middle of a course. And you'll also be notified when you launch the course that there are new updates available. Now, next up, let's talk about the courses that will be available with the launch of PROKON Academy. As you can see, there's currently only 3 courses available. Obviously, it does take a bit of time to develop this learning material, and we want to present it to you in the best way possible. So the first course is the PROKON Getting Started. This is actually a brand new course that we've developed starting last year. And this course is really aimed at those with limited or no experience on PROKON. For example, students, lecturers, or even professionals interested in implementing PROKON software. Now, it really introduces you to PROKON structure, analysis, and design workflows, and are demonstrated using our CalcPad software, Frame, and even Sumo, a little bit of Sumo. And some of the topics you will cover in this course is modeling using nodal inputs in Frame, and then also element placements. Optimization and linear analysis will be covered. how to interpret your detailed analysis results, and then also an introduction to certain of the PROKON design modules and workflows. And then lastly, at the end of the course, we'll show you how to compile your project reports. And just as a little side note, we've actually presented this course quite successfully at educational institutions around the world. Zambia, Uganda, we've been in Ireland. You know, there's a couple of countries we've already implemented this at universities. But no, it's also for professionals, not just for education. Moving on to the next course, some of you might be familiar with this course, or you might have heard of it, is our general PROKON course. And this is really where your PROKON journey, your learning journey will start, is with this course. Also, if you're already familiar with PROKON, but you maybe just need a refresher, you'll also benefit from this course. And the workflows are demonstrated using our CalcPad program, some databases that includes your material and section databases, even ProSec for your custom sections, and then also a little bit of Sumo will be covered in this course. And the topics you'll be doing during this course is your CalcPad project setup, and then also your page customization. You know, that would be your title block. We'll show you how to import standard sections into your projects, and then also how to create custom sections using the ProSec software. Thereafter, you'll look at managed material databases, how to add new materials, how to import materials into your project. And then lastly, we'll do a little introduction to Sumo, which will include some modeling, analysis, design, and also reporting. And then lastly, one of our most popular courses is PROKON Sumo. Now, this course is for users who want to further their knowledge that they've gained in the general PROKON course. Now, if you don't know Sumo, Sumo is a new generation 3D BIM-enabled analysis and design tool. And this is really the center of the PROKON universe, and it will greatly improve your engineering workflows. Workflows in this course are demonstrated using Sumo and then also some of the design modules. And the topics we'll be looking at during this course is the user interface of Sumo. We'll also show you how to import materials and sections into your projects. You'll then be building a 3D structural model using foundations, columns, beams, and plane surfaces. Thereafter, you'll add some loads to your structure, whereafter you'll then perform a linear analysis. After the analysis, we'll show you how to interpret the detailed analysis results. You'll then design some elements using design links, and also quite unique to Sumo, design groups, where you can design multiple elements in one group. And then lastly, you'll add some connections to your model, modify the element fixities, apply some wind loading, and also combine multiple Sumo models into one big project file. Now, as I've mentioned before, more courses will be added to our PROKON Academy platform in the coming months. And some of these courses you can look forward to is our concrete design course, steel design, composite and masonry design, our ProBar 2D add-in for AutoCAD, which is for your reinforcement detailing, also our analysis course, and more. So there's a couple of courses we are currently working on that will be launched in the next few months. Now for the fun part of this webinar is the PROKON Academy in action. So what does it look like? How does it work? And so on. But before we jump into that, let me just show you a couple of the basics first. The first thing that will happen when you sign up or enroll into one of our courses is you'll get an automatic email from the PROKON Academy system. And there's two versions of this email. The first one is for brand new users. So if you've never ever used PROKON Academy before, this is your first time. So the email will basically be a welcome email, and it will contain a custom link that's unique to you that you can follow. And this link will take you to the PROKON Academy platform, where you can then choose a password and log into your account after that. If you are an existing PROKON Academy user and you simply want to enroll into one of our new courses maybe, which means you already have an account, this link will take you to the actual course that you are enrolled into, and it will allow you to log in and start your learning experience. Now, looking at the user interface, so once you've now logged into PROKON Academy, and you'll see at the top of the screen, the web address is academy.prokon.com. And once you've logged in, you'll be met with the My Courses and the profile view. So the My Profile view is where you can customize your profile. So under profile settings, for example, you can add a profile image with your photo, your company logo. This is also where you can change your password or reset your password if needed for your PROKON Academy. And one thing that I'll show in a bit more detail is you can also download your certificates for the courses that you have completed under your profile settings. Below the profile settings, you'll see there's a learning history, your learning history. So any courses that you have done, any modules that you have done will be recorded there. And it's actually quite detailed. It will give the name of each module specifically. It will capture the date and the exact time of completion. It will even show you the progress. So if you have completed the module, it will show that the module is completed. If you are still busy with the module, it will give you a percentage progress. So you can see where you were at, and then also at what date and time you last worked on that specific module. So I'll show you this in a bit more detail later. It's actually a very nice feature of the PROKON Academy. And then lastly, goes without saying, log out allows you to safely log out of your account. The next portion of the PROKON Academy user interface is the actual courses. So there's two sections here. You've got enrolled and completed. Under enrolled will be all the courses listed that you have enrolled into. Also, this is courses that you haven't started yet or courses that you are currently busy with. So if you haven't started a course, it will say course not started. And if you're busy with a course, it will, very similar to the course history, it will give you a percentage progress of where you are currently in that specific course, and it will allow you to continue maybe at a later stage. The completed courses section, so once you've completed a course and your certificate of completion has been issued, the course will be moved into that portion. Now, what's nice about that, during your course access duration, you can always go and revisit that course. You can redo specific modules, maybe revisit an exercise if you got how to do something. And also, if you want to download your certificate, that is where you can go to get that certificate. If we now open one of the courses, so for example, the PROKON Getting Started course, you'll see a bit of detail about that specific course. So you've got the outline, the about course, and the reviews. The outline is really the core of the learning. So that is where all your learning modules will be, but each course will start with a tutorial, like I've mentioned before. And this tutorial is very short. It's going to take you a few minutes to complete, and it will just show you how to navigate through the course and which button sits where and so forth. Then the introduction, also all our courses will have this, is just a short introduction about the specific course, what the course is about, the modules that will be covered, and the topics, and so on. Then the actual course modules, those are the modules that you'll have to complete in order to complete the course. All our modules are broken up into specific categories. So there's, for example, a modeling module, there will be an analysis module, there will be a design module, and so on. It's very important to notice at this point that all the modules must be completed in order or in sequence. So you cannot jump between modules. You can't start module 3 if you haven't completed module 2 and 1. And you'll notice this when you log into your Academy portal, that everything will be locked. And once you've completed one module, it will immediately or automatically unlock the next module. However, after you've completed the course, then you are free to navigate in any way you choose. So then you can go to specific modules and do specific topics again if you choose to. But for your first time, you have to do it in sequence and you have to complete all the modules before your certificate is issued. And then lastly, purely to help us with quality control and, you know, to understand what challenges you might have experienced or any compliments even, there's a short survey at the end of each course. Again, it's going to take you a couple of minutes, and this will just really help us to make the PROKON Academy even better for you. The About Course section is very similar to the introduction you've seen under the outline. And this is really just to tell you what this course is about, the topics that will be covered, how many modules you have to complete so you can plan your schedule. And then you won't see it on this screen, but if there's any certificate that will be issued, it will be listed there as well. And then additionally, and this is purely optional, you don't have to do this, there's a review section. And this really, if you want to review the course specifically, rate the course so that other users and ourselves can see what your experience was with this specific module. Now comes the fun part. I'm now going to switch over to the PROKON Academy portal and show you some of the features in action. Just give me 1 second here quickly. Just going to quickly minimize this screen. There you go. And there's the My Courses page. All right, so this is PROKON Academy. I'm currently logged into Microsoft Edge as my browser. I've just hidden my address bar at the top, but as you can see here, there's my PROKON Academy, academy.prokon.com. I've created a user called John Smith. This user is currently logged in. And as I've shown before or mentioned before, here's the My Profile view. So if we go into Profile Settings, you'll see this is where you can customize your profile. You can add your profile image. You can change your preferred language for the portal, and then also change your password if needed. I will get to this in a bit more detail, but there's also a certificate section that will keep record of all the courses you've completed with their certificates. So for as long as you have access to the PROKON Academy portal, you'll be able to download your certificates. I'm going to switch back to the My Courses view. And you'll see that on this user's profile, he's enrolled into 4 courses. There's the webinar demo, which is just a sample course I'm going to use for today's demonstration. There's the general PROKON course I was talking about, the PROKON Getting Started course, and also the PROKON Sumo course. Under completed, there's nothing yet because this user has not completed any courses. So let me start one of the courses. I'm going to go with the webinar demo. This is just an example with a couple of extracts from some of our courses. So just so you can see what it looks like. If I open this course up, there's my course view with the outline. I was talking about the About Course section with the description, topics that will be covered, how many modules I have to complete. And as you can see, there's the notification that a certificate will be earned at the end of this course. The review section, obviously, I can't review the course if I haven't completed the course. So this portion will be locked to you as the user. It will only become available afterwards. But I want to reiterate that it's not compulsory to do the review. It's completely up to you. So back to the outline, I can then start my training. Now, I just want to mention that for today's purpose, I've marked the navigation tutorial and the survey optional, which means I don't have to complete them. For you as the user, all modules are compulsory. So you have to start with the tutorial, then move on to the introduction, module 1, module 2, and then the survey, whereafter you'll get your certificate and the course will be marked as complete. So just for time's sake, I'm going to skip the tutorial. I'm going to skip the survey. So let's start with the introduction. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the module and it will launch that specific module. Now, the user interface, like I've mentioned before, is straightforward, very easy to navigate. At the bottom left, I can expand the course if I wanted to fit onto my full screen so that there's nothing else interfering with your view. Then moving towards the bottom right, we've got our slide counter. So I can see this module consists of 4 slides, which makes sense because it's just the introduction. And then you also have your navigation buttons. And as I navigate through the slides or the modules, you'll see the counter will count how many slides I have completed. All right, I can also go back to previous slides and then move forward. Moving to the top of the screen, we've got our course contents, which is like an index. And this also shows me all the slides I have to complete. And you'll see that some of the slides are grayed out, which means those are the ones I've already viewed. Now, it doesn't matter because you can still jump back and forth between the slides. So if you remember this topic you want to read up on again or redo an exercise, you can always just manually navigate to that specific slide. So let's go through all of this. There's the content of this specific course, which gives you a detailed list of the topics that will be covered. And at the end of each module, you'll know that the module has been completed. You can close the module, or alternatively at the top of the screen, where's that button now? Let me just minimize that. There's a close button as well. So I'm going to close this module, and you'll see that it will immediately mark the module as being completed, which means it will unlock the next one. I can move on to the next module. When you start a module, at any point in time, you can pause, take a break. Maybe you have some work to do. If you're a professional or a student, you have to study a bit. And let me show you how that works. So if I move through the modules, actually, before I get to that, I just want to show you the rest of the functions at the top quickly, and then I'll get back to that. The resources at the top is where you can follow links to either contact us, go to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, or Facebook pages. Also, each course will have a datasets folder you can download. And this is really to help you as a user if you get stuck at some point, or maybe you made a mistake with your specific model that you've created. So what you can do is you can then download the data sets, save it onto your machine, and without having to restart from the beginning, you can then open that specific file for that specific exercise and continue with the exercise uninterrupted. This is optional. Obviously, if you want to build your own model and everything works fine, you don't have to make use of the data sets. And then lastly is the marking tools, which is unique to you, so no one else will see this, is where you can mark certain words, so you can annotate, you can draw images. There's also a nice highlighter tool where you can highlight keywords that you want to stand out, and it will remember these markings. You know, even if I add markings to a different slide and I go back to a previous slide, those markings will be kept. Now I'll show you what happens if I close this module. So I haven't yet completed this module. So if I'm going to close it at the top right, it's going to ask me if I want to stop viewing this content. I'm just going to choose yes for now. And it will show me that I'm currently busy with this module. I've viewed 42.86% of the module, but also at the top of the screen, the course itself will have a progress bar. So the course as a whole has been viewed 28.57%. And if I go back to the My Courses page, it will show me also that this module is currently in progress with the percentage, and it will allow me to continue at any point in time. And even if I close my browser, switch off my machine, come back, I can continue exactly from where I left off. If you say, yes, I want to continue from the last slide viewed, it will remember where you were. If you say no, it will start from the beginning. So I'm going to choose yes. And there's everything. There's the last slide that I was currently on. All right, so just for purposes of the demonstration, I am going to skip through this one. You'll see that all our courses or modules will also start with an objective slide. The objectives are really to let you know what you'll be covering and what you'll be able to do at the end of the module. And you can also cross-reference this with the exercises. So you can see, yes, I can identify the components, I can save a project file, I can open an existing one, and so on. So it's sort of a checklist for you to verify that you can do all those things. There's a bit of theory or text. Most of our courses will start with this. So it's not just exercises. There's always a bit of background information. Some of our exercises or modules will also have some really nice interactions. On this example, you can see the Sumo user interface, which allows me to click through the various components. It will give me a short description. I can also manually, pick the specific areas and read what that portion is about. So let's go and click through this one. There's an example of a note. If we want to highlight something specific that stands out or that's important, you'll see it with that blue post-it icon. And then again, at the end, I can complete the module and close it, and it will update the status. There's one more module for me to do, so let's go through that one as well quickly. And this one, I'll show you an example of an exercise. This is an extract from the Sumo course, which is the supports portion. So let's go through this. There's a couple of, a little bit of theory, what type of support you get. There's your objectives again, exactly what you'll be able to do at the end of the course. And here's an example of an exercise. So all exercises will start with, again, the objectives, to confirm this is what you'll be doing. And then we've really made it easy for you as the user. We've broken up our exercises into very short steps. So we don't just do one big exercise. As you can see in this example, we've got 4 categories. We've got the placement of pad footings, the copying of the footings, the linear copy, and then some properties. So you can either jump, between them, you can do it in sequence, and then it's really as simple as read the steps and do exactly what is shown to you. Any values that you need will be shown. It will show me exactly where to go in terms of the tools. And what's also quite nice, like I've mentioned before about the videos, is most of the exercises will have a video basically showing me exactly what to do in the exercise. So you can either skip the steps, go straight to the video, or you can do the steps, do the exercise, and sort of confirm with the video that you've done it correctly. The video, there's nothing funny about it. It's a typical video player. You can maximize it. You can pause. You can skip, rewind, and so on. And when you're done watching it, you can skip forward to move to the next one. There's another example of steps with a video. There's another one there. And then the last one is just an image with some values you have to confirm in the properties. Right, so let's move forward, end of this module, and close. So now that I've completed all the mandatory modules, you'll see at the top of the screen, I can immediately download my certificate. So there's no delay in this. It's an instant thing. There's no exam you have to write because this is purely a course you do and you'll receive a completion certificate. At some point in time in the future, we might be looking at exams where you can get an even better certificate that carries a bit more weight, but that's still in the making. So if I want to now download the certificate, I'm just going to click on it and it will open up in a PDF format. I can save it onto my hard drive. I can open it up immediately. So there's an example of what the certificate will look like. It will contain your name and surname, the name of the course, and as well as the completion date. And then at the bottom right, it will have a unique certificate ID. No 2 certificates will have the same ID. And this is really to help us, identify you or identify the course you've done and so on. Back to the course, there's another way to download your certificate. If I go back to my courses, just before I show you that, you'll see that this course has now moved into the completed section. If I want to redo something at some point, I can open the course again and do whatever modules I want to. If I now go into my profile view, settings, certificates, that same certificate will be available for me to download. And for as long as you have access to the portal, those certificates will be there. And then lastly, another way of getting your certificate is via email, and this is done automatically by the system. So immediately after you complete the course, you'll receive a completion email, which will give the name of the course you've completed, the date and time stamp, and as well as an attachment with your certificate in PDF format. Right, so that covers the user interface and, what the PROKON Academy looks like and how it works. So you'll probably now wonder, what is the steps I need to follow to enroll into one of these courses? So the first step is the actual enrollment form. So what you'll do is you'll go to our website, which is www.prokon.com/academy. You can see the address at the bottom of the screen there. And there's a form that you can fill in. It's a very short form, which will then automatically be forwarded to us. Thereafter, you'll be contacted by a PROKON representative, which will obviously send you an invoice for the course where you can then make payment and provide proof of payment to the PROKON representative. The third step is you'll receive your account confirmation email that I've shown before. You can follow the link, log in, and then next up, you can start learning and you can do your course. And then after you've completed your course, you'll get your certificate. So it's a very simple process. We've actually already received some enrollments, so I really hope to see a lot more after today's webinar. And now probably the most important question, how much is this going to cost us? So looking at the pricing, all our courses right through the bank will be priced at $55 per course. So for one course, 55, for 210, and so on. There's currently not any bulk discount. The more courses we add in the future, we'll probably be looking at bulk discount, but for now it's $55 per course. However, there is some good news. For today, or for the launch, we are selling the courses at only $35. But there's a little bit of a catch. It's for the first 200 courses only. So as soon as we reach course 200, that's where the special discount will stop. So if you want to grab this opportunity, please don't delay. Enroll today still to make sure you can get your courses for this great introductory price.
Thanks, Sampi. That was a really, really informative session. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys benefited from it as well. There have been a couple of questions that have come through, so we'll look at them now. The very first one, Sampi, I'm going to ask if you can answer this one. How do the first two courses differ? They seem the same. I assume that question is related to PROKON getting started and general PROKON.
Yes, thank you, Alistair. That's a question we get quite often because it seems like the two courses are very similar. That is the general PROKON and the getting started. And yes, they are similar. There's some overlapping, but there's also some differences. But you should really be asking yourself, what is the purpose of doing the course? If you're a student or a lecturer, or if you're a client that had never ever used PROKON before and you just want to see what it's about, then I would say go for the getting started course, because that's really exactly what this course is about. It's the absolute starting point. How do you open PROKON for the first time? And it really just touches the basics of our software. It doesn't go into too much detail. Obviously, you learn something. You'll be able to use the basic features of the software. But if you are ready to start with your PROKON journey, so if you've already made the decision, I want to learn PROKON, I want to do all the courses, then I would say start with the general PROKON course. So if you are planning on doing the Sumo course, maybe at a later stage, or the design course for steel or concrete, or the analysis course even, I would say the general PROKON course is where you should start. Yeah, I hope that answers that question.
Thanks. There's a follow-up. Do I need to enroll for general PROKON before I can do the Sumo course?
Actually not. We do recommend it. Like I said, the general PROKON course is always a good place to start, and it does give a short introduction to Sumo. The Sumo course itself obviously goes into a lot more detail in terms of Sumo. But the easy answer is no, you don't have to do general before you can do Sumo. You can go straight into Sumo. However, if you're going to be doing any of our other courses, the concrete design, the steel design, composite and masonry, the general PROKON is a requirement. Please note those other design courses are not yet available. We'll be posting them in the next coming months. But for Sumo, no, you can go straight into Sumo. But I would definitely recommend doing the general PROKON course before you attempt anything else.
Thanks. There is another follow-up to that, in fact. How many courses are offered in total at the moment? For companies that already pay for a PROKON license and support, will a payment need to be made for each individual employee that wishes to enroll in a course? And tied to that is another question that I want to ask at the same time. I'll just find it here quickly. If I complete the course, can my colleague do the course as well?
Okay, let me answer that one first. The answer is no. It works like any software license. If you buy a license for PROKON, it's for you only. You cannot share that license with someone else. The same rule applies to our PROKON Academy courses. We are actually very strict on that. So if you enroll, you have to accept our terms and conditions, which is very clear that it's a single person license. Yes, you can use it on many devices. So you can do the course on your laptop, maybe go home, you can continue with your iPad, come back tomorrow, do it on your phone, but you cannot share it with other people. It's for you only. Then the other question, let me just look at the question again. How many courses are offered in total at the moment? So that answer is simple. That is 4 courses. So that's the getting, actually 3, sorry, PROKON Getting Started, General PROKON, and PROKON Sumo. And then hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be launching the concrete design, and hopefully early next year, we'll be launching the steel design as well. Then the next part of that question, for companies that already pay for a PROKON license and support, will a payment need to be made for each individual employee that wishes to enroll in a course? Yes, that comes back to that same question of one course for one person. And that is also why we were able to make the courses so affordable. So it's a single enrollment goes to a single person. If you have 5 people that want to do the courses, you have to purchase 5 individual courses. So I hope that answers that question.
Thanks, Sampi. There's another 2 that I want to combine here as well. With this being an online self-study course, how do we ask questions regarding the course while busy with the course, number 1? And tied to that is, for how long is this course valid for? If you don't mind just addressing those for me, please.
All right, so asking questions, if you need support from us, is the academy@prokon.com email address. If I can just ask our administrator to post that email address in the chat box. So it's like our normal support. You know, if you have a question about our software, you usually email support@prokon.com. For the e-learning, it will be academy@prokon.com. And as you guys know us, we usually get back to you as soon as we can. You're not going to wait days and days for an answer. And I promise you, if there's any glitches or problems, which I seriously doubt in the system, you'll not be, you'll not lose your progress or anything. We'll always make sure that you get the best out of this. The second portion of the question was, for how long is the course valid for? For now is 90 days, so 90. So as soon as you sign up and you receive your enrollment email, counting from that day forward is 90 days that you have to complete the course. I hope that answers that question.
Thanks, Sampi. I see also a lot of people have been asking this one. Are these courses CPD accredited at the moment?
So obviously each country will have their own requirements. If I can use South Africa as an example, so currently no. Our normal instructor-led training is CPD accredited. There's quite a strict requirement for us to get that from EXA. We are definitely considering it. We have to first submit it to them. They have to evaluate our courses, and then they'll let us know yes or no, which I don't think there should be a problem. But at the moment, no. As soon as we do get accreditation from them, it should probably be backdated, which means if you've done a course in the past, like PROKON Academy course, and it becomes available later, you'll probably be able to still claim those courses. For other countries, we'll need to hear from you guys if that's a requirement for you and who the professional body is that we can get in contact with, and then we'll definitely get the process started. But it's not a simple process. It's a time sensitive process. So yes, but we can do it, definitely.
Thanks. And then the last one is, you mentioned that the price was in US dollars, but what if my local currency doesn't support US dollars?
Okay, so the reason for the US dollar pricing is just to keep it generic. We are an international company, and it's very difficult for us to price it in each country's currency. So what's going to happen is, as soon as you get feedback from your local reseller, they will automatically price it for you in your local currency. But the US dollar pricing is purely just to get a rough estimate of how much it's going to cost. So you can more or less do that conversion on your site, but your local reseller will definitely give you a more accurate pricing.
Thanks. I see there's one more question that has come through here. What happens if we register for a module and do it as a group? E.g., my employees do the course together. Is that against the rules?
Yes, that is against the rules. Obviously, our terms and conditions do state it's one course for one person. So you cannot sit in a room and go through the course with 10 people watching. But then also my question is, why would you want to do that? Because, you know, if you do the course, you get a certificate in your name. So now I'm thinking to myself, your colleagues are going to sit and watch the course, but they won't be getting a certificate. So I wouldn't do it personally. If it was me that bought the course, I wouldn't want to give it to anyone. And secondly, it is unfortunately against our terms and conditions, which is not really a surprise because, you know, all e-learning works like this. And also any software works like this. It's a single license for a single person.
Cool, thanks. It doesn't look like there are any more questions coming through at the moment. If there are any questions that do arise outside of this webinar, please let us know. You can contact us at academy@prokon.com rather, sorry. We'll look at those questions, we'll address them outside of the session as well. Then lastly, in the chat box, we have put there the local reseller list. So if you're not sure who your resellers are, you can visit our website and go and get the information from there. With that being said, I think we can end the session now, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that has attended. It's been a pretty cool and informative session, and hopefully we'll see you guys again in the future.
Thank you everyone from my side, and I really hope we see a lot of new enrollments coming in today. Thank you and bye-bye.